It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay. She off your mind.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us call them hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Ingo torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego diary politico, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind. Oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Can in the touchlight every corner. Oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai. Them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Sure. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power. Over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego diary politico, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. This one not they off in mind, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my egun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say my egun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Poor man picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say my egun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. My egun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make you shout, oh yo yo. My egun don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego diary politico, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. This man not the off in mind. Oh, yo, yo.
By turning over future investment to the private sector and by removing the complex structures which makes NMPC's accountability and assessment of efficiency almost impossible. You see, there are so many layers upon layers built on this simple thing, crude oil. You don't even know whether it's oil or some mystery around it that is taking the money from the central bank. You see, I think we would demystify all these things. In my government, the daily export of crude will be published and the price at which it is sold. You see, the issue of planned implementation is simple. You see, public things are not private. We have National Assembly now. They will do their job. They review the expenditure of government and will hold public hearing. We will no longer be hearing of monetary circulars from central bank without the bankers being told. The bankers will have to be involved. You see, like I said, every effort has been made in the past to shave people's head in their absence. It must stop. I mean, it won't be allowed. I mean, the cumulative wisdom of all the bankers would have seen us out of the problem we have in this country today. But some people, they come from IMF or they come from World Bank. What do they know about Nigeria? You see, the most brilliant doctor in Norway might not have seen malaria in his life. So bringing him here and imposing him as a medical director is like sending everybody to the grave. You see, I think all that nonsense will stop. I rely on Nigerians to keep Nigeria running efficiently, and that's what it is. You see, there will be a few foreigners who will be recommended by our people not those who will be imposed by some foreign authorities over us. We are an independent republic under God, or aren't we?
Hello there.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ dódódódó. Mayegun Diary, Mayegun #1.
Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun Live.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun #1. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Mayegun Diary, Mayegun #1. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun Diary, Mayegun #1. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun Diary.
And I greet you, Happy Democracy Day, or should I just say Happy June 12, or all of the above, or none of the above. Share this broadcast.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun #1. Mayegun Diary, Diary Politico. Mayegun Diary, Mayegun #1. Godfatherism, kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun Diary, Mayegun.
This morning, Kalu woke Nigerians up and he told them his mind, including the judges.
Làwa mọ̀ dódódódó. Mayegun Diary, Mayegun #1. Àní ẹ̀sùn Raki. Mayegun ti dé.
Tell them, share this broadcast, invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell them that Mayegun today.
Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn Raki. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn Raki. Mayegun ti dé. Ọba bá gbé wúrẹ́. Mayegun máa bí. Àní ẹ̀sùn Raki. Mayegun ti dé.
I actually have a lot to share with us tonight. So the best thing for us is to get on with it right now. Now, this morning, there is this Democracy Day broadcast from Kalu, June 12, a day set aside to commemorate the June 12, 1993 presidential election, which MKO Abiola was expected to win, but got annulled while the announcement was being made. Yeah? And today makes it 30 years that Nigerians actually trooped out. Not like as divided as you see it today. They trooped out to participate in a democratic election, or a democratic process that they believe will see to the end of Babangida. And back then, 30 years ago, it was just two political parties. SDP, Social Democratic Party, NRC, National Republican Party, or Congress or something. Anyway, the two political parties then, which one, the SDP, which MKO Abiola ran on, was so popular that this day, 30 years ago, the eastern part of Nigeria, northern part of Nigeria, western part of Nigeria, they have concluded voting. And as at the time, they announced and annulled the election, MKO Abiola was already coasting home to victory. He already won 3 to 4 Igbo states, eastern states at the time. MKO Abiola, a Yoruba man, defeated his rival or his opponent, Bashir Tofa, in Kano. Bashir Tofa, Hausa, got defeated in Kano. got defeated at his own polling unit 30 years ago. But fast forward to 30 years after, a lot happened. MKO died. A lot of people died. Then democracy happened to Nigeria, and it became demonstration of crazy people. Today, we now have somebody who pretended to be a Democrat, a drug lord, who joined the campaign for the recovery of democracy, but he was actually at the same time a friend of the same person who jailed Abiola. That is a Tinubu, a double agent. So the same Tinubu today has been rigged in as the president of a divided Nigeria, where those who are supporting Tinubu were publicly asking and calling for the execution of Igbos for daring to contest election with Tinubu. When Tinubu got defeated in Lagos, they set out to destroy every Igbo they could see, including Yorubas who supported the Igbos or who kind of defended them. It's a divided and different country today to what it was 30 years ago. But this morning, Tinubu came out on a democracy day and he rolled out threat after threat, especially to the judges, the judiciary. Somehow, Tinubu has managed. I mean, if you won't say, I will say it. The subsidy that Tinubu removed, as Lord himself, seems not to have any effect on him, or is illegitimate government that is about to unfold. Democratic dictator. Wait for it. So let's start with that. This morning, from Corlus, what did they call it? National Broadcast, Democracy Day. Word for word. Let's start from there.
That Nigerians went to the polls to exercise their inalienable right to elect a president of their choice to lead the transition from military dictatorship to a representative government of the people. The abortion by the military fiat of the decisive victory of Chief MKO Abiola of the defunct Social Democratic Party in the June 12, 1993 presidential election, up to that time, the fairest and the freest election in the country's political evolution, turned out, ironically, to be the seed that germinated into the prolonged struggle that gave birth to the democracy we currently enjoyed since 1999. In rising to strongly oppose the arbitrary annulment of the will of the majority of Nigerians, as expressed in that historic election, the substantial number of our people who participated in the struggle to annul the election signified their fierce commitment to enthroning democracy as a form of government that best ennobles the liberty, the dignity of individual, and integrity, as well as the stability of the polity. The fierce opposition to the annulment of June 12, 1993 presidential election and unrelenting pro-democracy onslaught it unleashed was the equivalent of the battle against colonial rule by our founding fathers that resulted in the gaining of Nigerian independence in 1960. Just like the anti-colonial movement, the pro-democracy June 12 vanguard demonstrated once again the enduring validity of the 19th century historian Arnold Toynbee's eternal postulation that civilization and society experience progress as they are forced to respond to challenges posed by the environment. The unjust annulment of a widely acknowledged free and fair election was a challenge that elicited resistance by a resurgent civil society, leading ultimately to the attainment of our second independence, as exemplified by the return of democratic governance in 1999. Fellow compatriots, we celebrate a day that has remained a watershed in our nation's history, not just today, but for every June 12th, for the endless future that our beloved country shall exist and work stronger and stronger. Generation of Nigerians will always remember themselves that the democracy that is steadily going to become the defining essence of our polity was not gifted to us on a silver platter. We can easily recall the sacrifice and the martyrdom of Chief MKO Abiola, the custodian of the sacred mandate that was so cruelly annulled. He sacrificed his life in unyielding patriotic defense of the ideals of democracy, as symbolized in his choice by his fellow countrymen and women as their duly elected president. There was an easier choice for him. It was to forgo the justice of his cause and opt for the path of ease and capitulation in the face of the tyranny of power. To his eternal credit and immortal glory, Abiola said no. He demonstrated the time-tested eternal truth that there are certain ideals and principles that are far more valuable than life itself. Every day on this day, down the ages, we will recall the several heroes of democracy, such as Kudirat Abiola, wife of Chief Abiola, who was brutally murdered while in the trenches fighting on the side of the people. We remember Pat Alfred Rewani, one of the heroes of our independence struggle, and Major General Shehu Musaya Adua, retired, who was silenced by the military junta while in pursuit of democracy. They gave their yesterday for the liberty that is ours today. That Nigerians went.
You guys like to complain a lot. He's reading it on the teleprompter. It's pre-recorded. They've cut out anything that could, as much as they could. You are still complaining that I go removed it. Joe, remove it. Joe, remove it. Joe. He's just giving credit to the democracy heroes. Did you not feel the phonetics? Did you not feel the phone? Democracy heroes and all of that. Okay, I'm sorry. So it's not that bad. Okay? Because the next part is where Kolu is going to tell you that those who cannot endure the pain of defeat in elections, they cannot enjoy the victim, so the joy of a victory. Something like that, Sha. I don't know. Because you can't really quote him. I was reading it. Let's go for the next one. So I have a lot for you tonight, but this is how we're going to start.
The point is that we must never take this democracy for granted. We must forever jealously guard and protect it like a precious jewel. for a people can never truly appreciate the freedom and the right democracy guarantees them until they lose it. We have transferred the dark, thorny part of dictatorship before, and those who experience it can readily testify to the unbridgeable gap between the dignity of freedom and the humiliation and degradation of tyranny. Through, yes, rancorous debates, interminable wrangling, ceaseless quarrels, bitter electoral contestations may be perceived by some as the unattractive feature of democracy, but they also testify to its merits and value. This year, we held the 7th in the cycle of elections that have become sacred ritual of our democratic practice in this dispensation since 1999. That the polls were intensely contested is in itself positive evidence that democracy is well and alive in our land. It is only natural that even as those who won and experienced victory in various elections are elated and fulfilled, those who lost are disenchanted and disappointed. But the beauty of democracy is that those who win today can lose tomorrow, and those who lose today will have an opportunity to compete and win in the next rounds of elections. Those who cannot endure and accept the pains of defeat in elections do not deserve the joy of victory when it is their turn to triumph. Above all, those who disagree with the outcome of the elections are taking full advantage of the constitutional provisions to seek redress in court. That is one of the reasons why democracy is the best form of government invented by man. For Chief MKO Abiola, the symbol of this day, in whose memory June 12 became a national holiday, democracy is eternal. It is about rule of law and vibrant judiciary that can be trusted to deliver justice and strengthen institutions. It has become imperative to state here that the unnecessary illegal orders issued to truncate or abridge democracy will no longer be tolerated. The recent harmonization of the retirement age of the judicial officers is meant to strengthen the rule of law, which is a critical pillar of democracy. The reform has just started. The democracy that will yield right dividends to the people who are shareholders means more than just freedom of choice and right to get people into elective offices. It means social and economic justice for our people. To the winner of June 12 democracy offers the best chance to fight and eliminate poverty. 30 years ago, a Christian is...
I know. It's boring, it's a torture, it's like, but it is not. Like I said, I don't want to put words in his mouth. They wrote that down, right? And he read that to millions or to the rest of the world, all of you. And he said, the judiciary, in a subtle way, that Tinubu, who is supposed to be head of an arm of government, is telling another arm of government that it will no longer tolerate any illegal court orders. You get that? Somebody that is fighting legitimacy right now. Last week, he increased the age of retirement for Nigerian judges to 70 or thereabouts. Yeah? And then he promised to do a reform by giving them more money. He will take care of judges, build houses for them, buy them cars so that they won't take bribes. Then today on Democracy Day, he threatened them by telling them that accept any judgment that he considers as legal. Any judgment that comes from the judiciary that is illegal and he consider it as a threat to democracy will not be tolerated. People have been debating that online. Does that mean that if the tribunal says it should be removed, it won't go? Others are saying that if they're born and well, make the tribunal remove them. I said, don't waste your time. It will take a whole bull, easy passage through the needle hole for the corrupt judiciary in Nigeria to remove Tinubu. It will be a miracle. The entire country, all of you, including those who are supporting Tinubu, everybody will have to like collapse on their knees. If there is any judgment that says Kolu should be removed, with Kolu that we know, with what they are going to do, or what they have already been doing. But he threatened them. Then he told those, according to him, those who lost now, Obi and Atifku, that if they cannot accept or endure the pain of defeat now, they don't deserve the joy of victory later. So he's already signed off at their what have you. Now, these are cryptic messages that Kolu just kind of sent to you all. There are many more that somehow it can't be like saying na jazz. When another senator who happened to be the husband of a retired president of Court of Appeal in Nigeria, the Court of Appeal president that disqualified, or let me say that threw out Atifku's case in 2019, Bulkashua or something like that. I think it's Bulkashua. He came out today like say something, enter him, and he started confessing on the floor of their house. I'll come back to that. Let's hear the last part of Kolu's statement. He said some other things. Please hear from him.
Inauguration address on May 29, I gave effect to the decision taken by my predecessor in office to remove the fuel subsidy, the albatross, and free up the collective use of much needed resources, which had hitherto been pocketed by a few rich. I admit the decision will impose extra burden on the masses of our people. I feel your pain. This is one decision we must bear to save our country from going under and take our resources away from the stranglehold of a few unpatriotic elements. Painfully, I have asked you, my compatriots, to sacrifice a little more for the survival of our country. For your trust and belief in us, I assure you that your sacrifice shall not be in vain. The government I lead will repay you through massive investment in transportation, infrastructure, education, regular power supply, healthcare, and other public utilities that will improve the quality of lives. The democracy MKO Abiola died for is one that promotes the welfare of the people over personal interests of the ruling class, and one where the governed can find personal fulfillment and happiness. That is the hope MKO Abiola ignited throughout our country in 1993.
Ethnicity was not an issue. He won five out of the 7 states in the Southeast, as at the time the election announcement was tough. He won in the North. He won in the Middle Belt. Okay, in fact, he even defeated Bashir Tofa in his own polling booths.
Ruben, I was trying to draw your attention.
So ethnicity was not an issue.
Religion was not an issue. He defeated Tofa in Kano.
Yes.
Kano people did not want any tribe after that. Don't try it again. But what we see today, they did not want anybody.
Yes,
he defeated their
They didn't want anybody.
Yeah,
there was no warning.
When we're saying it now, some people say it's
MKO defeated Tofa in Kano. Kano indigenous did not want anybody. Don't try it again.
Ethnicity was not an issue.
So, I know it could be a bit boring, but I told you, I wanted you to hear him out, hear just few things and all that, and you can make, you can do what you like with that, I would say. We're talking about a rigged judiciary. Currently, Kolu is choosing the leadership for another arm of government, which is the legislatures. Akpabio will be the Senate president, and Abbas from Kaduna will be the speaker. And these guys have told the executive whatever he wants. All they want is what they will do. Then the judiciary, that is also meant to be independent as well, is what Kolu will reform. By your law, he is going to appoint some of your judges to the Supreme Court. He is going to appoint, the person who is going to be the head of the appeal court. They have a way of easing them out. The last person who was the president of the appeal court in Nigeria, Binta, what's her name again? Is that Binta or Aisha Bukashua? Let me see if I still have a picture here. Right? She was, I think it's Zainab. Her name is Zainab. Zainab Bukashua was appointed president of the Court of Appeal by Bokwari. Now, when the tribunal case got to her, now what happened is, being the president of Court of Appeal, so she is going to have the chance of appointing 70 judges into different federal high courts in Nigeria. So she had that power. So she could influence anything and everything. And they have been doing it for a while, if we must be honest. Her husband confessed while the senators were doing their valedictory, when they were like rounding up and everybody was leaving, talking about judiciary. That will remove Kolu.
Particularly my wife, whose freedom and independence I encroached upon while she was in office. And she has been very tolerant and accepted my encroachment and extended her help to my colleagues.
Distinguished, please, I don't think this is a good idea, go in this direction. It's not a good idea. It's not a good idea, please.
Particularly.
So he was talking about his wife, who extended her help to his colleagues. So what does that mean? It simply means that being the husband of the Court of Appeal president, it was once very powerful and possibly revered by his colleagues. Because if they run into any kind of electoral trouble, they should not worry. is, what do you call it, Zainab will call a judge that can take care of it for them. Just think about that. The judiciary. The other one was when, what's this guy's name? Okorocha was asking the same Senate president that you will still have to tell us how you actually got back to the Senate without contesting for senatorial seats. Well, because I just stopped by in the Senate, yeah, let's go in there and hear those who gave their own valedictory too, including Remi Werekwe, the first, the wife of Ekolu, which is your deputy president. She had this to say, just for the record, going forward.
First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, distinguished Senator Oluremi Tinubu, CON.
Thank you, the Senate President, Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I'll stop with the protocol there and say distinguished colleagues, my brothers and sisters. Having been sandwiched with two eloquent speakers, and I didn't have a written speech, I think you will all bear with me. I'll speak from my heart to tell you how grateful I am to God Almighty. Never knew I would ever be in this place. Proved a lot of people wrong. I remember the first time I started this journey, I had a press conference. A pressman asked me, why don't you start from House of Rep? How dare you want to go to the Senate? But you know, he's one of those after my first term, came back and commended me. We are friends today, at least when I see him, we shake hands. But God sustained me for 3 terms. From the 7th Assembly, 8th Assembly, 9th Assembly, and I'm still confused myself. How have I been able to continue this journey? At a time, I even thought that let me retire and begin to face family. Because serving the nation takes a lot of sacrifice. And it starts with the sacrifice from your home, your children, even your better half. It takes a lot of sacrifice to want to give time to serve your nation. At the same time, it's a great, great privilege for all of us that we are here, your nation. At the same time, it's a great, great privilege for all of us that we are here. But over the years, we've made friends, brothers, sisters, across our various tribes, ethnicity, and religious divide. In this room, we have the entire Nigerians being represented. And we were able to forge ahead. We're able to come together when we need to come together to make, very good decision for this nation. And we did that as good elder statesmen and women. My thanks would go to my husband for even giving me the support. Despite, I won't say he totally supported me coming here. But at least I leave home, come back, and gives me little advice when I seek for it. But he gave me the freedom to be myself and to able to make the contribution I thought necessary for our people, especially the women and our youth. And I believe that God Almighty uses weak things to confound the wise. And one of those weak things that God used to do exploit in these hollow chambers, I did all that was required of every legislator. Motions, bills, even some bills, that are assented to law. And I can only just be grateful to God for what he has done And for the people I've met here, even we might not understand each other, we've always treated each other with respect. And I believe that we can, on this premise, we can build a nation that even our young ones will be proud of. And it starts from, we've been blessed in this 9th Assembly. When we look at us, it's not due to sheer luck that we say that the president has passed. We've been blessed in this 9th Assembly. When we look at us, it's not due to sheer luck that we say that the president has passed through this place before, the vice president, and also me, the wife of the president. And not only that, the chief of staff, deputy chief of staff, and we also have deputy governors that, you know, a female, my colleague and my sister, who is here today. And what else can we say? That God is good. And
God is good to them. Look at us, you know, we were senators. Now we are going to be this, we are that. I mean, it's not by sheer luck. It's not by sheer luck. You know, what can I say? Look at my sister, look at my brother, you know, and all that nonsense that she said, but I wanted to put it on record because all of that, as she go on here, okay? Even shitty man, has something to say too. But before we go to the shitty man, now this one where they crack me up. Okorocha. Roach ass. Okorocha.
Again, we shall all stand to say Nigeria is a great country. And to those of you, our colleagues, including you, Mr. Senate President, you know you're a very smart politician. How you came back is yet another political book to discuss.
Sorry?
How you came back is another chapter in our political history.
How I came back from where?
How you return to the Senate as a senator will open another chapter of great discussion in our political book. Because I was there in the field with you running for president. I never knew how you were able to meander and return and leaving some of us. Next time you must teach me how to do that.
It was a torturous journey because we had to go through the courts. I didn't even appeal.
Did you get that? Corruption and them just kind of throwing it at everyone. So here is a shitty boy giving his own valedictory before going to become the call Lucef vice president.
Cherish this honor bestowed upon you, for it is a sacred trust, and let the spirit of collaboration guide your every step. To my colleagues, to my fellow colleagues who will depart this chamber, I address you not as colleagues left behind, but as friends who have become an integral part of my history. We have shared countless moments of triumph and defeat, standing shoulder to shoulder in the face of adversity and striving relentlessly for the betterment of our nation. Our bonds are forged not merely through the titles we hold, but through the fraternity and respect that transcends the boundaries of politics. I am here today bearing the weight of another responsibility, having been entrusted with the honor of serving as Vice President of our beloved nation. We may no longer occupy the same chamber, but we will always be bound by our fidelity to the ideals of democracy. This chamber will forever bear memories of the lives we have touched, and there can be a greater inspiration to be the country, the patriot the country seeks. As we set out to disperse into different channels of experience and influence, may the lessons of this chamber forever dwell within our hearts and guide us towards the clarity we seek to serve humanity with unwavering determination. Thank you, distinguished colleagues. Thank you, the Senate President, for your leadership, for your friendship.
As a shitty man. And I hope you kind of look at him very well. If anything happened to Kalu, that is the person that will tell you, fellow Nigerians and the rest. That's how you go have to deal with it too. Anyway, let's move on. Talking about shitty man. or shitty boy. Now, shitty man, in their, in their, what do you call it? In their already Muslim government, where they are looking for any singular Christian. And to them, the Christian they can find will have to come from southern Nigeria. Shitty man was talking to his fellow northerners, trying to convince them why it's not going to look well if the Senate president is also a Muslim. Let's just get one Christian, just to fill the space. And guess what he told them? He said, remember at first they told, when they played their religious card in the northern Nigeria, they call it jihad. They called an election a jihad. And that's exactly how they treated it. And the way they are even still treating it. So shitty man who kind of saw the, I'm gonna fix this. Don't go anywhere. Right, I have
First staff service chiefs and the police, distinguished invited guests, senior officers, this my singular honor and privilege to announce the arrival of His Excellency, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Obasanjo and Tinubu, and Commander of the Order of the Federal Republic.
Sorry, we'll come back to that. So, shitty man trying to sell the idea of a Christian being the Senate president of Nigeria, talking about Akpabio. You know what he said? Now, I'm going to let him say it before I kind of add my own.
For me, under the current dispensation, the worst, the most incompetent Southern Christian is better than the most puritanical Northern Muslim for the presidency of the Senate of the Federal Republic.
Did you hear that? I know it's kind of, he speaks kind of faster and the accent and all that. Let me repeat that again.
For me, under the current dispensation, the worst, the most incompetent Southern Christian is better than the most puritanical Northern Muslim for the presidency of the Senate.
The worst, the most incompetent Southern Christian, is better than what's the other one? Something Muslim, botanical Muslim. What is botanical Muslim? The real Muslim or something like that, Abi? Again?
For me, under the current dispensation, the worst, the most incompetent Southern Christian is better than the most puritanical Northern Muslim for the presidency of the Senate of the Federal Republic.
The most botanical Muslim from the north. You don't trigger those fanatics now. How dare you? How dare... So now, so you don't use us, Abi. You don't use us, you don't dump us, Abi. Are you mad in Shetima? How dare you come around and say the worst, the most incompetent Southern Christian is better than botanical Muslim from northern Nigeria, whatever that even means. All because, according to this, all because you wanted to satisfy the infidels, Abi. You, Shetima. He was talking about this thief, by the way. Remember him? Akpabiole. That is the worst Southern, that's the worst incompetent Southern Christian that shitty man is talking about. Akpabiole. So thank you, Jari. I don't go read comments. People said that Shitima was talking about Putarika. No, sorry. I'll go read them again because we both sometimes get issue if we almost speak. They say Puritanica, Puritanica Muslims. What does that even mean? Does that mean that better Muslim or like original one or something? I mean, I don't understand. Or educated Muslims or something? Britannica. I'm going to go and read it up. So when you see me start using the word Britannica, you'll be like, you don't go school again? Yes, I'll go check. So that's the guy he's referring to from the southern Nigeria, so that their government will not look like Muslim Islamization and the rest of it. You know what I mean? Even though it is anyway. Well, we can come back to that some other time. So today is the Democracy Day, according to these guys. Let me take you to the venue where it all happened. Then I can take you to another one. Breaking news. Tinubu signed student loan. Hey, that's a good thing. No, it is not. Oh, Mayegun, you want to be a killjoy again, but it's a good thing now. I mean, you know, another Ponzi scheme. You know what is Ponzi scheme? Another scam. Like opening another shop. And I'm not going to, discourage you. Go ahead and then play along. But we'll come back to that. Because when they realized that what is actually trending was the fact that Kolu threatened Nigerian Judiciary, they quickly came back and draw out the same bill that was kind of presented to Bokwari. But somehow, having seen the shady hands behind it, the scheme behind it, the fraud behind it, he didn't touch it. So they brought it to Kolu this afternoon. I sign. Oh yeah, breaking news. They have now signed a student loan. Oh my God, why don't you like good thing? Some people told me about Empower. Let me tell you this. The first 3 months of Bokwari, APC, Egbekegbe, the Lagos, or should I say, the Lagos Ibadan, or Bodilon criminal politicians, they put the whole lights together through the office of Pastor Ruga, and they called it Empower. I was screaming. It was a fraud, a pure fraud. They had no money to actually fund it. And if they ever actually allocate any money for it, it's purely for them. They will deceive you. And at the end of the day, it is going to be a BLLB. Some of them called me enemy of progress. Some of you are going to call me enemy of your progress. Your dubious progress. APC, they offer you something. You want to go through party. You have no idea. It's okay. We'll get back to that. Let's go to where they are doing the left, right for Kolu today as your President Democracy Day. Let's go to that.
First staff service chiefs and the police, distinguished invited guests, senior officers, this my singular honor and privilege to announce the arrival of His Excellency, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Obasanjo, and Commander of the Order of the Federal Republic.
Federal Republic of Nigeria in this auspicious occasion. What we are witnessing now is the parade commander marching smartly to report the state of parade and invite the special guest of honor for inspection. Being accompanied by the parade commander, proceeding from the special this morning.
As the marching, they had another one where they were just drumming. You know, that kind of a thing. just reminded me of when we called the Bokus in Odo Boluden, and it was for the burial of my great grandmother. So, you know, the Bokus that they or sometimes they play the high tone, they play the mid, they play the low tone, and that kind of a thing. Then you just hear like where you are mourning, like, oh, tarara. Anyway, that's what I brought in. I'm sorry if that's kind of feels weird, right? Now here is another one. It's also from the scene. Then all the beat drum here. Now just scream that they scream. Yeah, yeah.
His Excellency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Grand Commander of the Order of the Federal Republic, President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Hip, 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 hooray!
Please may we all rise for the national.
I know. I told you it was going to be like a yeah, oh, ordinary EPP. I think it's called the Army Salute, right? Well, that's that. So after all of that, and Tifnumbu's broadcast Rogbodion. So what happened next is they just drag out and say, Baba, come and sign this one. We'll pretend say you don't give them something. Student loan. Student loan. That sounded like something so good. Of course, there are conditions. Here you get. Like, if they actually mean it. Okay? Let's say, indeed, right? You are setting up a student loan that everybody can have access to. It's not something that you just go into a room and do some video up. Oh yeah, Baba, pretend that you want to sign. So yeah, pretend that you are signing. Oh yeah, hey, student loan. It is just like another Nigeria here, or the Ministry of Humanitarian, what have you, where Pastor Ruga wanted to rescue 100 million Nigerians from poverty by giving them 10,000 naira trader money. It's all scheme, okay? Because you know what would have happened? By now, if you want to set up a student loan, this is me giving you what it should be like. Oh, and I will come back and tell you what they are offering you. The scam. It's a scheme. Ponzi scheme. You know what is Ponzi scheme? Ponzi scheme is when they first come, first serve. So that those ones will be those who will be giving testimony that it is true. Here you get now. So then others will pretend that they are waiting for their turn, but it is never going to happen. So they are telling people that they are using subsidy money to set up the student loan in Nigeria. So when, for example, when America, who actually practices it more in a way, when they said they wanted to give a, student loan cancellation, kind of like, okay, this one is not like, in America, you can easily access that loan, student loan. All over the world, there are countries that offer you that, okay? Because the moment you start working, okay, you can start paying a percentage of your salary. In fact, you must be earning a certain amount of money before they will start taking that money from your earnings. That's until things get bad, okay? So there will be provision of how much is going to be the seed money. What are the numbers being targeted? Who are those who are going to really benefit from it? In Nigeria, you have the federal universities and you have the state colleges and universities as well. Yeah, you have federal colleges as well. Now, there were no clear-cut explanation in this, but for those who have seen the copy of what they put together, now let me explain it to you. Wakolu and his gang are presenting to you as a student loan. First, let's see where they are signing the jargons that is going to blow up very soon, right? Take a look where they are signing the bogus student loan bill into law. Did you see the optic there, right? Did you see the table? And you see all the piece of paper they put together. That is the law, okay? And then anything else on the table? Absolutely nothing. Now, this is what they are plotting. Open what they pretend to be a student loan arrangement, yeah? And according to them, you can apply through your school, okay? There are some qualifications they say you have to, there are some documentations you have to do. People who have to be your surety or guarantors that you are going to take this or so amount, all right? And once you get the approval from your school, they must show that you have never cheated in a school exam before. For example, like you've been arrested, you've been caught cheating in an exam, you won't be qualified. If you have been to jail, you won't be qualified. If your family is earning over 500,000 naira as income in your household, you will not be qualified. And if you can't get maybe the current judge, the past judge, a civil servant who is of level 12, a royal father, a cleric of reputable church who are going to sign as your guarantors, the list, sha. So when you are done, then you take it back to your school where you actually pick the interest form from, okay? So your school must then certify that you are from them before you can then have access to where they can begin the processing of that money for you. Now, if you get that money for your tuition, if you ever get it, for those of you who get it, if you ever get it, now what happened after is, after 2 years, when you go for your youth service, okay, you will begin to pay 10% of your salary. A lot of people are already asking questions that in a country with the unemployment that is over 70% as we speak, right? Shouldn't that be the first thing that you should be paying attention to, other than this, this scam? But here is the point. Number one, in that law, they said they should set up a bank. And that bank is going to be called, they haven't set all of that up yet, so there's nothing on it. But the law first, anyway, yeah, okay. Which means before you begin to have access to any money at all, if there will be any at all, that may take you next for probably another 1 year or two. But wait, they have to set up a bank. So this bank is where, as a student, you can then walk into. After completing everything and all that, you will open a bank account, student account, where they will put the money into, okay? And then you, in return, will then have to pay your school fees. It's a loan. It's not just for school fees. It could be for your house rent, for feeding, for everything, for research. So it's not that you're going to go there and borrow. No, you can borrow up to 500,000 naira, according to what they said, though. So what that simply means is this. At first, that is like opening a shop, like Bukwari opened a shop for Shadia. And then afterward, it's just going to be, the bazaar thing where, like Nigeria, as always, too many people are asking. In fact, we don't even know if this thing, as they call it, law, actually covers everywhere in Nigeria, which means whether you are from the state level or whether you are from a state college of education, as long as you are a student, in any higher institution, college and all that, you can access up to 500,000 naira student loan. So the now big question is, how much is enough for the face, or should I say, what are the phases of how to actually like say, oh, well, when it begins to kind of like, when you begin to access it like they did there with N-Power. Let me tell you something about N-Power. When they started with their N-Power lies, right? They said they were going to create 3 million jobs. So N-Power was going to help them create first 1 million jobs. But when the scam was, when it was time for them to execute the scam, this same Tinubu guys, they were the one who put that scam of N-Power together, Pastor Ruga and co. Now, when it was time for them to actually execute that, they turned it into batches by batches. They did the first one, they said 200,000 people. From 3 million to 1 million to 200,000. They did the second one, they said there are 150,000 people. At the end of the whole 8 years, even those who got called up for their N-Power, they ended up having to protest to be paid their peanuts. I know these guys, it's just going to be a matter of time. But officially, they are opening a bank. Yeah, they are opening a bank. I don't want to kind of put it in your, in your head of how a lot of you are never going to benefit or qualify simply because of where you come from in Nigeria. But maybe I should jump the gun yet. I have seen this before. I have seen this scam before. And I can tell you this free of charge. There was never any plan around it. Now, somebody brought something up from the military gazette, where the military also had something they called Education Loan Board. So it's business for the boys. Now, what will happen is that they will appoint somebody who is going to be the chairman of Education Bank in Nigeria. They are going to appoint those they are going to call Education Loan Board of Nigeria. If the board doesn't approve you, you don't get anything. Then the whole, am I saying too much? Nah, okay. I'll leave you with the rest and every other vivid imagination you might have. Because I'm sounding like, why are you so negative? Weary. Those wearies who call me negative under Bokwari, a lot of them have regrouped under Tinubu using the same line, the same, sentence. Why are you negative? Why can't you just pray and let us pray? Like this Akwa Ibom governor. Pray for Kolu.
We pray for the unity of Nigeria. That, Lord, you will continue to uphold the president. You give him grace to direct our country. In the name of Jesus, let all of us cooperate and work with him in unity for the benefit of our people. In the name of Jesus, this life we...
Anyway, you know why I'm laughing, right? Somebody, all this, social media bandits and Facebook adsmen, or this sufferhead, original sufferhead. One of them just dropped a comment and he said, see this thief Mayegun is looking for a post on that Tinubu. How many of you can Tinubu even kind of give a post you, they call them job, give you job? The freeloaders, the scavengers, the pickpockets that you are. You sit down there for almost an hour. Ashiri, you look at me and you look at Mayegu looking for a post. Which post would I look for under Kolu? That's why I'm laughing, honestly. Like, we know that, they said 70% of Nigerians, they have mental health problem, a serious one. We look what you know. Unfortunately, now APC made your mental problem worsen. We look what you know. But we will do our best to continue. I will do my best. I'll continue to do my best, to see if the right words, if you keep hearing the right words and you keep seeing the right signs, just maybe you can be saved. And if you can't be saved, you could buy any because in emergency. 2023. God damn it. Anyway, let's go to others who also reacted to June 12th, Democracy Day. Somebody like Yele, sure. I want to put it in the mix. Let's listen.
Here, I was reading a headline. Obasanjo is saying that Igbophobia in Nigeria. They have never seen Nigeria. This is a guy who went to the east and shot people dead because they wanted Biafra. Obasanjo killed. He was one of the officers that obtained the surrender of Biafrans. They were asking for a nation. Obasanjo and others, Danjuma, Buhari, Babangida, they went to the east and killed people, Murtala, and killed people up to 3.5 million people. They did not even apologize for it. And some, maybe 60 years later, you are saying that you suddenly found out that people hate Igbos. When you, in Nigeria's uniform, went and killed children, women, men, boys, who are of Igbo extraction.
But the way you describe it is a bit more grievous and
what is grievous? What is more grievous than war?
No, it might not be exactly the way you're pointing it.
Yes.
There are war scenarios, civil war scenarios that happened. There was a strife.
No, what I'm saying is that this is part of history.
When you isolate individuals,
do you know why I brought the Obasanjo thing out? Because I was reading that I was really livid that he suddenly found out that there's Igbophobia. When the Nigerian army carried out a pogrom, carried out massacre of Igbos, and because he wants to play on the intelligence and emotions of Igbos, you will be clapping for him. Oh, Obasanjo is now our human rights defender. Oh, see, he's fighting for Igbo. I have never seen anybody amongst Nigerians that probably killed more Igbos than Obasanjo. They kill people at the Civil War.
You don't have evidence to that.
What are you talking about? That you don't have evidence of soldiers killing people in Biafra?
But when you name someone as
Obasanjo was the third commando now. Yeah. He took over from Benjamin Adekunle. Go and read history. He wrote it even in his own books.
But
are you saying that they didn't kill people? No, they didn't kill Igbos during the Civil War?
I'm not rewriting history, but I'm saying pointing one individual and mentioning his name.
No, but it's not about mentioning. He has a title. He was a military man. He was in the military. They killed people. What do I need to tell you again? I'm just saying that Nigeria did not start falling apart because of this election. It has fallen apart. It has failed up to this.
Is there hope at all?
Well, if you want to restore hope, we have to fight for it.
That's a big question, isn't it? Is there any hope, Sha? Well, if you want hope, I don't know. Nobody knows there is any except those who wanted to dupe you. They will look straight into your eyes and say, yes, there is hope in Nigeria. Now, they won't dupe you. And they will do it again and again and again if you continue to believe them. Trust me. Sure, I begin the movie.
Fantastic. Where I disagree is that there's no political or electoral process that is so wonky and so compromised that can produce a result. That's why I don't recognize the election. It's not an election.
You don't recognize.
I don't recognize the outcome of the election. I don't recognize the process because I complained about the process. I went to the National Assembly to talk about Beaver, to talk about INEC staff, to talk about INEC staff. I was the first person of our party, the AAC, in 2021 to organize. We organized 2 protests in front of INEC, where we said occupy INEC, because we said this chairman of INEC does not have credibility. And what was the basis? At that time, Sahara reporters found out in a story that the INEC chairman spent 3 billion naira to buy the renewal of his tenure. Everybody was there. Sahara reporters has come again, and we went and did a protest. Now, who came and confirmed that a minister of the Buhari regime, Rotimi Amechi, is now saying, I know the person who nominated the guy, but he never mentioned name. What is that?
I'm not the president. What advice? I've spoken to everybody concerned on this issue before the election. Spoken completely. There are those of us who oppose the reappointment of Mahmoud. The person who nominated him for appointment is a member of Tinubu's camp. So what are you expecting? Success? Here in Rivers State, Mahmoud worked on that Wike as a secretary of Third Fund. So what you're having in Rivers is that APC, SDP, and others are contesting the election not against PDP, against INEC, against police.
So are you saying that the situation is hopeless now?
Completely hopeless. Are you hopeful? Be honest, as a pressman, are you hopeful?
Are you hopeful? Completely hopeless, and it is just starting. Let me tell you something, brethren. There is nothing you are going to see now, or you are witnessing, or you are seeing right now, or you are still going to see that is new. Okay? And the victims are also not new. Sure, you understand now? A lot of them are going to call you wailing wailer, crying, I'm drinking your tears, I'm doing this and that. They are not drinking your tears, so these ones are swimming in their own tears when they are by themselves. A lot of you may not know this. You see, I can freely talk about all the absurdities going on. A lot of you can express same feelings as well. Simply because you know about them, you expect them. A lot of us have prepared ourselves for them, and we could handle them. So when we see them, we call out the bullshit enough that, not because it is 100% affecting us. You know what I mean? So when you see these suffering and smiling suffer heads, the Lagos Abobakus, the Oshogbo Alimajiris, the humbled slaves, sophisticated morons, the all-rightsers, the crumb chasers, crumb eaters, ass lickers. Yes. When they jump there and tell you, Omake Kuni, continue to cry. Tinubu go spend his 8 years. Now you go cry, cry, cry. Listen, don't think that is all about you. What majority of them are doing is called transfer of frustration. They will tell you you are frustrated even though they are worse. It's called transfer of frustration. There is nobody, there are nobody that is more disappointed in their criminal politicians than their supporters. But shame and mental health problem are two things that are very much, present in the lives of the Nigerians, the suffering and smiling sufferhead for 8 years. Ladies and gentlemen, they were watching Bokuwari tear Nigeria apart, destroy and impoverish Nigeria. These guys turned to beggars on social media. Urgent 2K here and there. As the economy continued to crumble and crash, and their lives continue to get torn apart, a lot of them started picking up a fake account on social media to beg for money, beg for job, beg for this. And it got to a stage that they became so shameless about it that if you dare ask them that, you be a APC supporter, you dey beg for money. Is this how worse your life has become? You will see them shamelessly tell you, what is wrong in me begging? Just say you don't have it. If you don't have it, just say you don't have it. God, I gave you this, this, and that. Well, what is wrong if I support Buhari? Of course, I'm APC. Of course, I know that Nigeria will be good one day. I know that this. So if you know what I mean, they begin to tell you, right, that well, if you don't want to help me, don't help me. But guess what? In their private, whenever they have opportunity, if you ever stumble on their WhatsApp conversation, if you ever stumble on where those they call their influencers suffering and smiling, hungry-looking twats on social media, when you see some of them who once in a while just bust out, for example, when Bokwari dealt with them, especially those ones who are Yorubas among them, now them suffer past. They were not supposed to be that hungry, but the feudalism of northern Nigeria sustained for over for decades or centuries, by the way, has now crawled and they found its way down to Yoruba land. Under APC, 8 years, begging became something like a virtue. Like, Yorubas don't beg. I am a Yoruba man. I grew up as a Yoruba boy. I grew up in Nigeria. Of course, poverty, they try, they hustle, they do everything. We didn't have everything. But when your situation gets to begging, they can call the entire family on you. You would have to run away from home to go and beg. Today, in 8 years of APC, a lot of people who used to be able to actually have shame, they threw shame away when hunger won't kill them. And they were wearing the garment of shame. And that was when we coined the word, you cannot shame the shameless. They are living in an economy, in a country destroyed by APC. You talking about it, they say you are crying. Now your tears with a drink. Hungry people will not get food. They tell you on social media that they are drinking your tears. But let somebody, one of them say, okay, let me give you an example. When this Lagos Wahala started, 2023, Obedient versus Lagos Abobakus. I play some of the video, I play some of the audio, I play them for you here on Mayegun's Diary Political. Have you forgotten? Hungry twats, humbled slaves, on social media, under Bokwari, Iyati Jaye won baje. Isheti baye won je. But guess what? They were having hope that one day, they go see the reward of all their sufferings. So, when the Lagos election was about to happen, they started threatening themselves that their leaders, they never took care of them. They never take care of them. They didn't give them money. They did not. Now election is coming. They are now that the Obedient about to kick them out. You remember all those times now? Hungry people who pretended to be all right. So which means for 8 years, they waited for Kolu. So if you see some of them suddenly looking so happy, nobody say they don't know. They are still open. Maybe anyhow, they will put their name for any empowerment. They go put their name for any kind of anything. Even if in a student loan, put our name there. It's our government, will give us something. The moment that expectation is not met, they will turn around and change their names on social media. And they will begin to sound like, they were not the ones who told you that you are wailing wailer. You are a crying crier. They were drinking your tears. Nigeria is going down the drain. They were drinking tears. They are not drinking your tears. These are frustrated people. That their own frustration is more than yours about Nigeria. Some of you, your anger, your frustration is the fact that they have made Nigeria ungovernable, non-progressive, and they will never want it to break as well. That's your own frustration. Their own frustration be say, when they were jumping up and down for change, jumping up and down for next devil, and now they have jumped up and down for the new dope. They were expecting some goodies to come their way, like jobs. They are like you. They have no job. Some of them have no real education. They don't have real education. They are paupers that politicians told once they gain power, they will have access to free money, free this, and including jobs. They have no idea that their politicians don't know how to create any jobs. Sure you get. So they were waiting. And in their way, they have to defend it anyway, even if they are suffering. Because who knows? They may call them tomorrow. They don't find them job. May then go give them tickets under Mararaba Bridge in Abuja. They will do Thanksgiving. I say, AK Osha, what's happen? Why you the pack bag? Baba, God don't bless. My prayer, God don't answer my prayer. 8 years, we are don't graduate from last Tech. You know, I don't suffer, Baba. What's it gonna happen? You know, if they go abroad, no. People don't abuse me. People don't call me names because of APC. They don't find me job. APC, I told you, I say APC go give me job. Congratulations, brother. What is the job? Now Abuja, they go Abuja. Which job you want to go they do for Abuja? Baba, 150,000 naira a month. Which job? I go to give Okada people tickets. You graduate of last vote. Oh, Baba, leave graduate of last vote. They go Abuja. Now APC slots. That's what majority of you are going to end up with anyway. So and you know that won't even kind of circulate anyway, right? But what could have actually changed your life are the policies that could affect millions of lives, but it's not going to affect them positively, but negatively. I know these guys. You know these guys. 8 years, some of you wearies, you were hoping that Bokwari will shock us. I want to see Bokwari may shock these people. So I can brag and say, you see, Mayegu, there is no more terrorists in Nigeria. 1,500 terrorists have been convicted of terror, life imprisonment. Mayegu, you see the change we voted for. Mayegu, you see, 24 hours electricity. They have not taken power in Nigeria for the past 3 years. That is the change we voted for. Mayegu, look at your life. You can't say that to me because that's what you are hoping to say to me someday. Sure, you know, the criminals who are promising you them won't give them to you. You know they won't give them to you. So you continue to pray that one day, may you go tell this Mayegu, say, see, no more corruption. Look at all the corrupt people in jail. Of course. Look at all the drug dealers in jail. Oh, look at all of the kidnappers in jail. Look at all the former governors who stole money in jail. Vivid imagination. Vivid imagination. You know, you can always have that vivid imagination. 8 years and you weary. 8 years. Those you called wailing wailer. You are back again with your renewed scam. And you are surprised when we are seeing the same. Now you want to come back with your vivid imagination again. Student loan. Yes. President Tinubu said he will give us student loan. 8 years. They dipped millions of you in poverty that you know about. So yeah, I know. You one day want to come and tell Mayegu that, look at this is now working. Look at that is now working. Look at everybody now coming back. Look at the jobs they are creating. Look at the poverty crashing. I know you want to say that to me someday. And I actually hope you will be able to say that to me someday, but not when you have criminals in charge. There is nothing good that comes out of criminals, especially career criminals. They don't change overnight. How could you even after you beat your chest until you no get chest again for 8 years under APC, Bokwari, you turn around and you mad. Okay, I'll remind you later anyway, because you can call me any name too. I am not the one who is going to kind of not let them do what they have to do. Listen to this. When Bokwari and gang started, and I was telling everybody, Eje Palasaya, Eje Shigidiya, Shige Bansa. You this Mayegu enemy of progress. You this Mayegu, Ojuema Boni. You will see what will happen. 8 years after that, you are here telling me the same thing. And I'm here telling you the same warning. So it's just going to be a matter of time. Now, talking about legality, anything that is called, forget about legality. A lot of you don't even know that. Legality. Tifnumbu. Let me do a stopover. This one talks to they want challenge Tinubu because it's Sake Mefiole. They're supposed to arrest all of them too. Kolu, pick them up. Nigeria has become a lawless country. Some of you have no idea yet, Abi. Your democracy is dead. But just give it time. You go soon know better. Trust me. And they pray for long life for a lot of the Lagos Abobaku. So, Mokuna live long. Mokuna no die like the 63,000 people or 100,000 people who died under APC in 8 years. By
the directorship of DSS, there is an existing court order by Honorable Justice M.A. Hassan of the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory against Emefiele's arrest and detention. And despite this subsisting court order, which the DSS they participated in the entire proceeding, the case was against them. They have not appealed against the judgment. The judgment subsists. The judgment stands under a country where rule of law operates. Why would the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu allow himself to be ill-advised by the director of DSS to go and arrest Emefiele in the wee hours of the night, 2 a.m. today, to arrest a CBN governor, somebody that has served this country? You arrest him like a common criminal. So we are calling on the president to immediately order the DSS to release Emefiele from unlawful detention, because there is a court order restraining his arrest by the DSS. And the DSS participated in the entire proceeding, and they have not appealed against that court order. Tinubu,
enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your weekend.
You know, that's why I said that they're supposed to arrest all of them too. Okay, they are trying to say that rule of law, wow. You will begin to see a lot of other arrests in the coming days, because they need to give you something. They need to make you think something is actually happening when nothing is happening. You know, abracadabra, abracadabra. You'll be watching one hand and a lot is going on in the other hand. And they call him Idon. So they're supposed to arrest those guys too, if you ask me, in this. Right, let's go further. INEC and their rigging. Yes, last weekend, or no, not last weekend, last Friday, right? The Peter Obi and his own legal team, they were playing video for the judges in the Court of Appeal. And they were playing videos of a statement made by Mudu Yakubu. And then they were also presenting a sort of visual evidence that to prove that the nomination of a shitty man was contrary to the Electoral Act. Therefore, it was unconstitutionally nominated. That was a clip of Tinubu when he visited Bokwari in Daura to tell Bokwari that he has chosen a shitty man as his vice, and he hasn't even told him yet. And this was like a day after what was supposed to be the deadline. And a day after that, shitty man and his form was submitted. How they managed to backdate it by INEC is what the court would then have to kind of approve, the perjury, forgery, and so many other things against Kolu. So showing the video, here is one of the clips they showed where INEC chairman was publicly saying any results, election results outside the Bivas or IREF or what have you, is going to be invalid, because that's what the Electoral Act said. But they are changing the story now. But they played this in the courts. Listen.
Only last week, we commenced the training of master trainers on election technologies to ensure a seamless process. Beginning from tomorrow, we will commence the same training at zonal level and subsequently train all the ad hoc staff for the 176,846 polling units nationwide. On this note, let me once again reassure Nigerians that there is no going back on the deployment of the bimodal voter accreditation system, BVAS, or voter accreditation. there is no going back on the transmission of results on the INEC result being portal in real time on election day. There will be no incident form that enables ineligible persons to vote using other people's permanent voters' cards during elections. We are committed to ensuring that the 2023 general election is transparent and credible, reflecting the will of the Nigerian people. The critical foundation for credible election is the voters' register. You may recall that the CVR, which started on the 28th of June 2021, lasted for 13 consecutive months until its suspension on 31st July 2022. During that period, the Commission gave Nigerians regular weekly update showing the progress of the exercise nationwide, including analysis of the distribution of voters by age, occupation, gender, and disability for our planning purposes and for public information. At the end of the exercise, 12,298,944 Nigerians successfully completed the registration as new voters. All along, we have repeatedly assured Nigerians that our process of cleaning up the register is robust. After a rigorous cleaning up,
I was when they were like romancing a lot of you who were paying attention to the election. You were always ready for every information, and eventually it got you hooked. I don't know if it got you deceived. Not deceived, scammed. That would be the right word, right? Right. So the same INEC is now doing a kind of self-explanation. I want you to listen to this. It's not in a video. It's just about 3 or 4 days old now. But it's relevant for this conversation. Admitting what they did, but telling you that, well, not that enough to say the election of Tinubu is, shall bring out the evidence. Watch this.
A copy of the report. I have not gone through the report. I will take a copy of the report back to the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission and the national commissioners for them to read the report and digest issues in the report. From our own point of view, in the next few weeks, the Commission will begin comprehensive review and evaluation of the 2023 general election. After every major election, the Commission conducts both internal and external review and evaluation of both the conduct and management of elections. So we are in the process of finalizing on that. Civil society groups and organizations will be a major plank of this review. Political parties will be a major plank of this review. The National Union of Road Transport Workers will be a major plank of this review. All our electoral officers will be a major plank of this review, and collation and returning officers will also be a plank of this particular review. So that review will take place in the next few weeks. We are finalizing on that particular review. Secondly, I'm slightly constrained commenting on some of the issues that have been raised, because some of the issues that have been raised here will be part of the review process that the Commission will carry out. Not only that, some of the issues that have been raised here are part of the issues before the various election petition tribunals and also part of the issues before the Presidential Election Tribunal. So I will find it very, very difficult to comment on some of the issues that have been raised. But let me say this, that one, as civil society groups and organizations, we have a responsibility to remain non-partisan no matter the interests at stake. We owe that to the Nigerian people, and we owe that to the society at large. Before the 2023 general election, individuals, groups, and political parties claimed victory for an election that had not taken place. Let me repeat that before the 2023 general elections, individuals, groups, organizations, and political parties claimed victory for an election that had not taken place.
Sorry about that, because I was going to let you kind of listen to it more, but maybe I'll come back to it. Sorry, I had to pause that. I'll stop that midway. I was going to send a message anyway. So let's go to that court where the man that said people are declaring themselves a winner, but they eventually declared somebody winner. Now let's go to that court again. Sorry about that.
Except for Ebony, which will be tendered tomorrow. So the entire world results for this election has been admitted. So nothing pertaining to that. Polling unit results have been admitted in evidence completely for the states we are challenging, same as from EC8Bs, which is what the election results. The other one that is outstanding will be the Cs and Ds, which will tender tomorrow. So for us, it's moving as planned. From tomorrow, we tender the remaining thing and then we'll proceed to expert evidence. You see, what is most important in a proceeding like this is evidence. All the evidence for Labour Party is going in smooth. They are all going in smoothly. What is outstanding is is getting fewer by the day, except for the ones that INEC has not availed us. For example, one of which is the beavers, access to beavers. So beyond that, everything is going in, no matter the efforts are trying to either delay or confuse us. We're focused on the ball. No. Don't mind the number of witnesses listed. We may end up calling 10 or 7, depending on our judgment as to what is relevant to be proved. Not all witnesses certainly will come in, but at the time we were asked to mention number of witnesses that we need, we just had to give a figure. But certainly with the documents in, a lot of witnesses may no longer be necessary, except those that will just come to adopt them, and then we'll proceed. We want to avoid dumping. Thank you.
Peter Obi and the Labour Party also tendered supplementary document of Form EC8B, that is documents used for recording coalitions at what level in 12 local government areas of Ebonyi State, 4 local government areas of Kaduna, and 4 local government area of Oyo State, in addition to the 17 states and their local government listed the previous day. The counsel for the petitioners, Paul Ananaba, also tendered documents titled Form EC8Cs, comprising of 13 states and the local governments, which are polling unit results from local government areas.
For today, we're able to tender a total of 8 states. From EC8A for 8 states. I tendered 5, while Dr. Azinge tendered 3. Out of the 5, my own state, Imo State, was one of those that at least I tendered their election results for 8 states, from EC8A. So tomorrow we continue from EC8B and C, and like that. So the objection by INEC is more like a statutory kind of objection. They're just trying to play safe. There's no harm in that. It's just a routine objection that they take just perhaps for reasons best known to them. But the documents tendered are actually documents, certified true copy of documents procured by from INEC, which we duly paid for. So for me, there's nothing to bother about. Incidentally, INEC has improved in their cooperation. Substantial documentation has been availed, while about 20% now are still outstanding. I think about 20% thereabout. I'm not exactly sure. I know not all, particularly the issue of beavers. They have not been able to give us proper cooperation on that. We need to have access to the beavers using our IT team to extract information. Even if the deleted information contained in the beavers, there's a procedure of extracting it. So it's for them to avail us that opportunity, and then the rest will be. No, the motion is a pre-hearing application we made, pre-hearing application, but then it wasn't taken then. Somehow it was overlooked or was missed they mix it up. So we want to just take it, and then it's about interrogatories that were served on INEC for them to answer certain questions, which will aid the trial and presentation of the case of Labour Party and P2B. So I believe they will certainly have to avail us those answers to those questions which were posed in the interrogatories. Interrogatories have been served on them.
It doesn't have any negative effect to your case?
No, it does not. It will not. Certainly those, but it's just to aid, just a procedural issue. Nothing to fear at all. Yes, thank you very much.
On Thursday, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the last presidential election, P2B, tendered final presidential election results using declaring Tinubu as winner of the election. The collated results in the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory (FCT) contained in Form EC8Ds used by the electoral body was tendered and admitted as exhibits. After tendering documents before the court, the petitioner called its second witness, Anthony Chimwo, who is a software engineer. Under cross-examination by counsel for INEC, Anthony told the court that he is not familiar with Beaver's device when asked about the function of the machine.
Yeah, all the days have been fruitful. It depends on what happened on each day. But you could see that at least it is obvious that we have so much to present. And the court has been magnanimous, and our colleagues have worked with us. So we have made the presentations, and we have so much more to present, even as our days keep moving.
What is the difference between the Form ECD and the Form ECD8A?
Well, you will... let me say it this way. Part of the contentions is 36 states and the FCT. So EC8D is the result of the 36 states and FCT, and EC8DA is the national result. It will be clearer when we begin to address the court on those two forms.
So how do you feel, sir, that all the documents you are tendering have been objected to?
Not all of them were objected to. EC8DA was not objected to. And it is part of the pre-trial report, and it's in compliance with the Electoral Act and the schedule. That it's been objected to didn't mean it was not admitted in evidence. We will get to know why they objected to them, and we will also have opportunity to respond to whatever argument they make as basis for our objections. But don't worry about that.
I'll save you the rest. The bottom line is that the case they are building against Tinubu in that court, if the court should do what is before them, Tinubu is going to be the shortest president in Nigeria history. And it's going to be the first president to be removed by court in Nigeria history. But can that happen? Can that happen? I have told you, right? I don't see that happening. Now, it doesn't matter if I want that to happen or if I don't want it to happen. What happens is that, do you see that happening? I don't. But can that happen? Of course, yes. I mean, impossibility is just a word. I mean, it's just two words, which is impossible as well, right? There are people that will tell you that they kind of see impossibility as a challenge, and they love challenges. So don't, the two can coexist. Yeah? But with the evidence there, Kalu may decide that all of you Nigerians who no get job, they want to give you free food. Oh yeah, anywhere where you see canteen, go there and say you are from, go there and mention the Kalu, you eat free food. Something that somebody told me, make I tell you. Somebody said, when in 2003, when they rigged Ngige as governor of Anambra. And everybody knew that they rigged Peter Obi. Sure you get. So Peter Obi went to court. Then Ngige suddenly was like doing good. He was building roads. You know what I mean? It was there everywhere. Like, you know, for the first time, the people of Anambra, they felt like they are seeing a real governor for the first time. 3 years. Ngige was governor of Anambra. The people of Anambra, they were telling Peter Obi that he should withdraw his case. What is he even doing in court again? If he wins his case in court, is it not road that he's going to come and build? Is it not schools and all this thing he's going to come and do? Ngige already is doing it. And it seems that Ngige is working for the people. So what is wrong with this Peter Obi? His own political party abandoned him. Can you believe that? This is not like somebody where Anambrans voted for. But Andy and Chris Uba, they were able to rig him out. And they told him nothing will happen. Nothing will happen from that court. It became so obvious that his own political party, APGA, abandoned him. The only thing they didn't do for him is to dismiss him and sack him as a member of their party. They stopped going to his court case. Some of them started working in Ngige's government. Yes, Ngige gave them appointments. But you see that Peter Obi, the guy just continued going to court until breaking news. Breaking news. Court of Appeal also have sacked Ngige as governor and ordered the immediate swearing in of Peter Obi. Who is Peter Obi? People started asking, sorry, which one is Peter Obi? Which political party? They say APGA. I wasn't young. I wasn't too young then. Oh. I'm saying this to you just because some people believe that that same historical event can be replicated in Nigeria. And if you don't believe that, it simply means you have not been following the story of Peter Obi. You have only been reading things people are saying about him. And you may be completely wrong or shocked with what could happen. His kind of person and his tenacity and all of that, being part of that same establishment to some extent, you just don't go and say he's wasting his time in court. So I understand where some of you are coming from when you said that it will drag Tinubu. The people around Tinubu will get hypertension, even though they are the ones in control of the judiciary that they are threatening now. But the fact that Peter Obi has a case in there, Tinubu will not go to sleep. And anybody who actually knows Peter Obi very well and close to Tinubu, if Tinubu is able to buy all those institutions and all of them, he better quite pay a very good money, to the judiciary, because this guy can pull a surprise, a very, very shocking surprise. The one they are going to turn to tribal war. Igbos versus Yoruba. So I get where you're coming from. I beg, hear me out too. You know where I'm coming from too. And you know that what I'm telling you, I am not making them up. There are things that exist in Nigeria these, right? When INEC say some people, let's continue to listen to that what that Bozo was saying. Like I told you, it was a few days ago. And he said, of course, the irregularity in the elections, which has brought illegitimacy onto Tinubu. Today, Tinubu is battling with legitimacy. Of course, he's acting like he's president, yeah? But there are millions of people who don't see him as president. But when you look at the bozos, the humbled slaves who have no idea of what this actually means in truest sense of it, they will tell you whether you accept him or not, he will be your president for 4 years. He will be your president for 8 years. They have no idea. Bokwari was president for 8 years. There are many, many of us who never saw him as president. We saw him as a chancellor, and we saw Nigeria as a graveyard filled with humbled, obedient, sophisticated slaves. And the result of that, Bokwari proved us right. I don't know if that makes any sense to you. It doesn't have to anyway. It doesn't have to make any sense to you. But see, the INEC is in this election like they are also contesting. They contested. Are you with me? Peter Obi is not fighting or is not contesting against Tinubu. He's actually fighting against INEC. And Atifku himself who is waiting also on the tribunal or the court to declare him winner. And at the end of the day, they said maybe the worst case scenario is that the court will order for a rerun. A rerun to be organized by who? To be supervised by who? The people appointed or under the arm string of Kolu. But listen to this one. People say name now Okoye. They always have this premeditated conclusion about people. If you, somebody like me right now, no matter what I have to say, no matter how logical of what I have to say or share, right? But because I criticize them, definitely I'm an enemy. And as an enemy, my opinion doesn't count because my opinion is the opinion of an enemy. They call Nigerians enemies just to ward them off. And that's the divide that they have already widened. Let's continue hearing that guy again.
That before the 2023 general elections, individuals, groups, organizations, and political parties claimed victory for an election that had not taken place. So when the elections took place, they wanted a validation of what they had already made up their minds should be. And some of us within the civil society groups and organizations lent credence to this particular perception, and that created a lot of challenges. My third issue is that we still need a lot of education on the collation and result management process within the law, within the ambit of the law. Because some of us in civil society groups and organizations who did not have a good knowledge of the election collation process and result management process also assisted in making sure that people did not have good knowledge. And because some people didn't have good knowledge of the collation and result management process, they went to town and reduced the entire conduct and management of the 2023 general election to result upload. And I believe that we cannot, under any circumstance whatsoever, and under any guise, reduce the entire election only to result management or result upload. So if there was no problem with the senatorial election, and there was no problem with the election to the House of Representatives, there was no problem with the governorship election, there was no problem with the state assembly elections, you cannot then write off the entire election as a sham. So I think that when we are sober, when we reflect much properly, we will find out that there are a lot of positives to take away from this election. Most of us have not seen people complaining about beavers having malfunction in several places. Rather, people say that the beavers performed optimally. So if beavers perform optimally, what that means is that the accreditation process was top-notch. Now, election results are announced at the polling unit level. Over 7 political parties applied for accreditation for their polling agents or party agents, and they deployed to over 170,000 polling units. So what that means is that in all the places where they deployed, they were entitled to a copy of Form EC8A, which is the polling unit level result. So before you can begin to reduce the entire election to result upload, you must also compare what you have from your party agents at the polling unit level with what has been uploaded. It is when you have contradiction and when you have challenges with that you can begin to write off the electoral process. So I think that we need to soberly.
It is smoke Igbo. It is take Indian. It is smoke Igbo. It is take Indian.
He's a madman, oh. But that's not surprising, okay? Did you see his name is something Okoye. He's an Igbo man. He's an Oloriburuku man as well. Do you see that straight face? You don't reduce election to problems with transmitting of results and all the nonsense is spewed there. his own chairman had this to say. What is the purpose of all the nonsense grammar he's speaking and all the useless English he's speaking there? When it's actually when it's meant to be a clear, straightforward process. If it wasn't for fraud, you got your voter's card, you get onto where they use the beavers, you are credited to participate in the election. They issue you ballot paper. You go in there and you vote. You cast your vote and you wait for them to count the vote. The result is announced there, but you see on the result sheet, that announced the polling results will be written on it, and they will use the beavers machine to take the picture and upload the result of that polling unit. That's it. That's the simple process. That is the process they compromised. That is the beginning of all these problems. We saw it. Now we are witnessing the consequences of it. Okoye screaming, shouting, trying to blackmail people. Some people already announced their result. Some people needed education. What kind of education do you need when this criminal speaks in a very clearer term? Yakubu.
Only last week, we commenced the training of master trainers on election technologies to ensure a seamless process. Beginning from tomorrow, we will commence the same training at zonal level and subsequently train all the ad hoc staff for the 176,846 polling units nationwide. On this note, let me once again reassure Nigerians that there is no going back on the deployment of the bimodal voter accreditation system, BVAS, or voter accreditation. There is no going back on the transmission of results on the INEC result being portal in real time on election day. There will be no incident form that enables ineligible persons to vote using other people's permanent voters' cards during the elections. We are committed to ensuring that the 2023 general election is transparent and credible, reflecting the will of the Nigerian people. The critical foundation for credible election is the voters' register. You may recall that the CVR, which started on the 28th of June 2021, lasted for 13 consecutive months until its suspension on 31st July 2022. During that period, the Commission gave Nigerians regular weekly updates showing the progress of the exercise nationwide, including analysis of the distribution of voters by age, occupation, gender, and disability for our planning purposes and for public information. At the end of the exercise, 12,298,944 Nigerians successfully completed the registration as new voters. All along, we have repeatedly assured Nigerians.
But there's no point in even playing the whole thing itself. This anyhow people, they will say mad people everywhere. I mean, they probably just have an idea of the country and the people they are ruling, or they consider all Nigerians as stupid people that probably won't be able to process anything. Unfortunately, they are probably right. Because we have people out there already arguing it out for them, explaining what they are trying to do to you, and the rest and all of that. So yeah, to those who are praying that long job about God, may the God do something for you. I will always say amen to your prayers. Even though I am not optimistic, but you should never be without that your optimism and your hope. Because now waiting kind of brought you here be this. When all of you put everything into your political revolution, the obedient movement, was the hope you built yourself. You built this, you did this. So I don't have that chance of advising you otherwise. Keep up with it, I would say. Now let's take a look at this interview. I don't know if many of you have seen it. Adisirika, the man that stole, the man that got over 180 billion, sorry, 130 billion naira expended on the bogus Nigeria air. You know, you remember when I told you something about what I have figured about Nigeria and why I am so grateful for the day I told myself Nigeria is not for me or my generation. Any seed, you know, everything that comes out of me, Nigeria is not for them. I remember telling you that in Nigeria that I grew up in, the political, tribal, ethnic, divisive, what have you, that they play over time, let me tell you something. There is this saying in northern Nigeria, and it was the meaning they gave to Naira. You see, if as a Yoruba man, or let me say if you are not an Igbo in Nigeria, okay, let's say everybody who is from Nigeria, or except the Igbos, okay, they should be able to understand what I'm about to say now. Nigeria is so messed up and so effed up, right? That when the criminal politicians in Nigeria, when they do what they normally do best, destroy Nigeria their own way, and they have nobody to blame for why they have done what they have done. We were kind of psychologically raised to blame the Igbos. Don't you know that? If you don't know what is wrong with Nigeria, but you know something is wrong with Nigeria, you are expected to blame the Igbos. Well, these Igbo people are the problem of Nigeria, Jare. That is what they did, that they have to fight war. This Igbo, you have to blame the Igbos if you can't find any explanation for what is wrong with Nigeria. Are you hearing that for the first time? Let me tell you something. In northern Nigeria, there were kids who are now adults. They are now adults. I don't know if they still do it, too. Kids who are now like adults when they were growing up after the war, the genocide, Naira, Nigeria money was changed from pounds or pound sterling or so to Naira and Kobo. Now, changing it to Naira and Kobo, you see that particular Naira, main currency of Nigeria, has a different meaning in northern Nigeria. Ask me what is the full meaning of Naira in northern Nigeria. Never again Igbos rule again. They said never allow Igbos rule again. Naira. So if you want to understand generational training for bigotry, hatred, and everything that currently have a foothold in Nigeria today, generations of supposedly educated people, or bigots, a lot of them were raised to believe that the Igbos would always be the problem of Nigeria. No, there's actually no anything to back that up. And then they gave the Igbos 20 naira, be 20 pounds before they changed the money. So as a little boy, they told you the meaning of Naira is never allow Igbos rule again. Naira. And you grew up like that. Do you know many other things they will tell you why Naira is Naira? Do you know many other things they programmed them to actually believe? And you are wondering today that Nigeria is so disunited, people hate themselves, because Bokwari came and he put all of us in our place. Yorubas, here, and your space. Hausa, Fulani, and the rest of you, and your space be this. The Igbos, dot in a circle, now your own space be this. Bokwari APC, Egbekegbe, they divided Nigerians. And then you are wondering that educated people are so vile, so divisive, so, yeah? You understand what that generation will do? They are the generation that will break up Nigeria. Trust me. So every other thing they told you, every other lies they've told you about Nigeria, you are going to find out yourself. When you find out, you're going to be very angry. Very, very angry. Do you know why I said that if you have any problems and you don't know how to explain it, blame the Igbos? I'll take you back to the story. Adis Sirika, Bokwari's family member. This is like a Bokwari's nephew or something. No, they are related though, in case if you don't know. So in case if you feel like Tinubu will not arrest Adis Sirika, that's the reason why he won't. Now, Adis Sirika was the Nigeria aviation minister. He stole over 100 billion naira, put up a scheme, and told 200 million people that Nigeria was going to have a national carrier. You know the rest of the story, Abi? Few days before the end of Bokwari's government, Adis Sirika displayed some firefighting vehicles. And according to him, he got 12 firefighting vehicles for 10 billion naira or so. How could you buy 12 trucks for 12 billion naira? That's like 1 billion naira per truck. Fire truck. Are you joking? Are you serious? Did somebody actually sign this off? Of course, somebody did. And just 2 days before the end of Bokwari's government, this criminal, Adis Sirika, decided to tell the whole Nigeria that the airline without any office, no recruitment training, no recruitment, no training, no nothing, was in fact already have an airline, aircraft for the airline. This Marafoka went to Ethiopia. He didn't even make the deal with the one that is Airpeace in Nigeria. Airpeace in Nigeria, owned by the Igbos. An Igbo man, by the way. Yeah, say it as it is so. Onyema, when Nigerians got trapped in China, in Egypt, in South Africa, when Nigerians got trapped all over the world, and they wanted to return to Nigeria, and Nigeria has no airline or no nothing. This Airpeace was everywhere, bringing Nigerians back from troubled zone, bringing them back to Nigeria, and the rest of that. They didn't make any deal with him. They went to Ethiopia. Ethiopia to go and charter a plane and present it to a country of 200 million people as the first among other hundreds of aircrafts that Adis Sirika has secured for Nigeria. Now, that was the story until after May 29. Adis Sirika came back. Guess who Adis Sirika is blaming for Nigeria air failure? Somebody called Honorable Nanji, an Igbo man, Igbo lawmaker. Now, the story gets ridiculous, by the way. It's not funny. Adis Sirika, who stole billions of your money with nothing, somebody who committed a serious crime and should in fact be putting his life in order until the day he will be picked up to go and spend the rest of his life in jail. The guy was a guest on a TV program, and he said the reason why Nigeria Air failed was because one Honorable Naji was asking for 5% shares in Nigeria Air before he can use his House Committee on Aviation to help them establish Nigeria Air, when in fact the agencies that actually certify you that you can start airline, health and safety and the rest of all those checks, they have 5 stages. Adis Sirika couldn't even pass one stage, the easiest, for 6 years that they have been brandishing the fraud. Nigeria Air. Listen to him.
Lagos is
Unaji asked for 5%. Is it 5% of Nigeria Air or 5% of the firefighting trucks contract?
No, he asked me exactly. You know, I record all my things anyway, and I have it very clear. He asked me that please, I should give him 5% of Nigeria Air to carry him along with his people. I am saying, and I said to him that time that look, Honorable, you didn't understand me. This is a bidding process that has taken place, and some people won rather. So I think you should go to those people and ask them the 5%. So I want to reassure him that at some point, even the 5% held by federal government will go to market. So he should get his money ready and buy for him and his people according to him. That's what I'm saying about Nigeria Air.
In other words, Honorable Naji and his colleagues in the House of Reps were in the Aviation Committee were asking to be bribed before they could support the Nigeria Air project.
In other words, Honorable, let's be fair. Honorable Ilan Nolim didn't say other members. He said he wants him and his people. His people could be his family, could be members, could be leadership. I didn't know what it means. But him and his people, 5%. I'm saying that he should relax and approach the owners. That's exactly what I told him in camera. You remember, I've been to House of Reps 20 years ago. And 10 years ago, I was senator. I know how the workings is. He called for public hearing. And right after the public hearing, he just turned the paper and read the Riot Act. What is the practice in National Assembly is that after hearing people and the complaint, you now go and sit down as a committee, the clerks will do their job, you now sit down, discuss the issues, raise them, approach the whole House of Reps, and take position of the House.
You did hear the thief. It's no longer about the money. He said, no, the whole thing about Nigeria here, now only 5 billion we budgeted. But I only spent 3 billion. I didn't spend 100 billion like people are saying. But you know, that's not even the issue. Honorable Nanji didn't support me. That is why we don't have Nigeria here. Honorable Nanji is saying, for me and my people. That's how they do it. The people will do the rest of the job. Now, so the Igbo people, they do. So it's the Igbo lawmaker that did not let us have Nigeria here. I don't read them from this numbskulls, these dumbos. This Rika is very, very eloquent. I didn't even know that that's the story behind the Nigeria here. All this enemy of Nigeria, President or President Tinubu should do something about them and bring back Nigeria here. Some dumbos are already saying that on social media after listening to Adis Rika. So the Igbos are the ones who didn't let Nigeria here come. I told you, if you fail, if you loot, if you do anything, just say the Igbos are the people who don't like you. The reason why that happened is because of the Igbos. You don't need to make much explanation. Just blow the dog whistle. They will do the rest for you. Unfortunately, somebody was supposed to jail. By now, it's supposed don't share in family. It's supposed don't share or write in his own will and read his will to his family and say, you may never see me alive again, because by the time I come back from prison, I may never come back from prison. But no, wait for it. They may give him another appointment. And if you think the person that gave him that made him Minister of Aviation will probably have something to say, he don't want everybody. All of you will go to say, he don't tell everybody, say, if you're not mad, you're not the look face. So nobody should come and ask him to come and see anything that is wrong with Nigeria. He's gone. He's gone. Just like this.
Nobody should ask me to come and give any evidence in any court. Otherwise, whoever it is, he will be in trouble.
Whoever did, he will be in trouble. Let nobody call me to come and give evidence in court too. But what they said is that they said Bokwari was sending that message to his own appointees, those who worked with him. That if you anything where you do, you don't say now paper now they bring for me to sign. Now paper they sign. So if they talk say you don't do bege and bege don't bege, no call me and say let me call my guy and say come and do witness. For now, the people of Southern Kaduna are already putting together all of their petition that they plan to take to the, what do you call it? International Criminal Court in Hague for the trial of El Rufai. Yes, El Rufai as, you know, as a genocidist, a murderer, and known as in somebody who supervised the mass killings of the people of Southern Kaduna up to Benue, honestly. So this coming days, this coming weeks and months are kind of so loaded, I would say. But I will kind of leave you with this, especially to those of you who have been kind of getting ready to enter the ring and put up a fight on Yoruba versus Igbo, Igbo versus this and that. Let me tell you something. Elections have consequences, okay? In life, normally, politics. You see, let's say you have different political ideologies. It is normal. You can throw banters, you can argue, you can disagree based on your political ideologies and all of that stuff. But let me tell you this free of charge, in case some of you that once they mention God, all of the thing will get sense for your body, they go surrender and they go disappear. Your mumu button go become active, okay? Now, let me say this very much to you. When you are having any kind of political engagement and with your political differences, and you say a lot of things to yourselves, okay? You know, but whenever you see people who stand up to incite tribal, ethnic, or racist, or racial or religious attack on anybody, if what I'm saying is so, when you see a group of people who rise up and say the only way to defeat these people is that anywhere you see them, attack them, kill them, because they are Igbos. Don't ever be one of those that they will drop God before. Once they drop God in the conversation, your mumu button will become active. Don't be like that. Oh, election and politics is not games. Yes, some of these Ashiris will tell you, politics is a game now. Why are you taking it serious? There will be a winner, there will be a loser. So what is the big deal? Let us move on, Joe. Politics is just a game. Politics is not a game. Are you with me? Elections are not games. They are not competitions whereby somebody wins and somebody loses and you move on. No. You see, politics affects people's dreams, people's hopes, people's lives, people's businesses, aspiration, and everything that has to do with our existence. Every wrong move or every wrong turn, people die. Do you understand that? So if you see some Ashiris who are trying to simplify what happened in this your 2023 election, where people who wanted to go and exercise their own right of saying, I want to go and vote for my choice, you saw what happened to them like in broad daylight. And somebody turned around to tell you it's just an election now. Why are you taking this serious? Somebody's going to win. Somebody's going to lose. If you believe that shit, right? Well, I'm going to say, if you are lucky the last time, you will never be lucky this time around. These bigots are fascists. If you don't agree with them, they have the temerity, the rage to kill you or inflict bodily harm on you for disagreeing with them. They can tell you to start packing your stuff and go back to where you come from because of politics. Now, when they begin to make their political decisions, the decisions and the consequences of these decisions are not limited to them. Even those of you who don't want them, you have to share from it. Now, if election happen and you see people who publicly, whether they are your family members, whether they are Yorubas, Hausas, or what have you, you saw them publicly called for the killings of the Igbos because of election. That is not a game. That is not a game. It's not a game of football where you argue over Manchester City versus Manchester United. That's not politics. Politics is not you arguing over Ronaldo versus Messi. This is not a game. People's lives, people's hope, people's aspiration, people's dreams get ruined and destroyed with political decisions. So when you now see those who made that happen, turn another and tell you, it's just a game now. Let's just move on. Another election, this and don't do that. Don't do that. Because they will do worse. Because you are still their threat. You're still going to disagree with them. Your only license of staying alive is when you decide not to be on the side that is opposing to them, to theirs. Now that is not guaranteed, is it? And that is why if you have them as friends, if you have them as family members, if you have them as employees, if you have them as your employer, the person will actually give you that job, listen to me. Of course, it may be a hard thing to do for you. You should begin to review your circle, especially them. If you can't move away from people like that, people who incite people, people who are pointing at their own friends on election day that is Igbo, attack him. Look at that one coming there. He's obedient. We know him. Oh yeah, attack him. People like that, they will do it again if they actually feel more like you are still a threat. So politics is not a game. And for the people with a good mind and then those who are like good people, I am advising you not to keep short. If your if your parents are bigoted people who are promoting, this kind of a violent politics and all that, divisive politics, they might be your parents. You should talk to them if you can. Because you know one thing about this toxicity is that, right, in Yoruba land, for example, today, even in Igbo land today, you have seen that even in Nigeria generally today, the Igbos and the Yorubas are the only two ethnic nationalities that have mostly intermarried, which means we have produced families. When this toxicity goes on, go and read about Rwanda, where father, mother, or let me say where husband and wife are plotting to kill themselves and kill their children simply because that's the ticket of you being alive and not being called a traitor or betrayer. When they continue in this trajectory, it's all going to take us to one place, the state of perdition. I'm going to leave all of you to this. Well, before I leave, Rufai, tell us something about why nobody should, by any right mind, fall into the trap of this tribal, ethnic politics that these guys are playing. People will die. But you can prevent that by using what is called simple information. Don't make yourself a willing tool in the hands of criminals who actually don't give a damn about Igbos or Yoruba or anybody, just themselves. And divide and rule works among those who are so ignorant, right? Not knowing that they are fighting the battle of these criminals. Maybe this can help. Something from the archive, from the history. Rufai? Let me share this.
Lagos is a Yoruba land, as against assertion of some people that it is no more.
Rufai, I know you've made some comments on this, just really quickly so we can move on.
I want to tell a story.
Okay.
And with this story, I'd like to pay tribute to Chief Shubomi Balogun, that is, I think he's been buried around this weekend. In the thick of the Civil War, a certain young Igbo architect who happens to be the first PhD holder in architecture in Nigeria, had a home close to Shubomi Balogun's home. And when the war started, the Igbos had to go back. And Shubomi Balogun saw that squatters were coming into the home of this young architect. And he chased away the squatters and he renovated the home. And he put somebody in there and he was collecting rent from her and keeping it for the person. He could have taken over the property because, as at that point in time, there was a war and the Igbos were being denigrated. But he kept the home. After the war, this architect, PhD holder in architecture, came back and he met Shubomi Balogun and he said, "Oh, that's your house. I kept the house for you." And while he was going, he said, "Please, wait." Then he went in and brought wads of money out and said, "This was the rent I got." And he said, "Thank you." That architect later became the vice president of this country, Chief Alex Ekweme. And that good turn deserves another. When it was time for Chief Shubomi Balogun to also get his own banking license. That same man was instrumental in getting his banking license. That's the kind of story Lagos is. All of this happened in Lagos. This is the Lagos I know. The Lagos of Chief Shubomi Balogun and Alex Ekweme. That's where they came from did not matter. But the love and the unity that binds us together.
That is the point.
Today, both men are dead. But their story is the true example of Lagos. This Mudashiru Obasa's Lagos that he's talking about here, I don't know it.
Thank you so much for your time. And before you go, please like this broadcast. I will see you some other time. I know it's shocking, right? Good night.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara yìí. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Mayegun Diary politico. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Ijó ìgbádìyẹ. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Bí gómìnà kówó jẹ. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Ọlọ́pàá ti ń darí bá. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran. wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ oníkanṣá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o àyè.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì ṣùgbọ́n ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀ kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀ ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì ṣùgbọ́n ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sè mọ́bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti dọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì o ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì ṣùgbọ́n ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.